What the?
You got the whole.
Welcome, everybody. Paul Shirey, Arctic Ninja Paul, and I am here to talk about Zack Snyder's Army of the Dead. So I visited the set of Army of the Dead back in October 2nd, 2019, to be specific, in Atlantic City, New Jersey. It was a cool trip, an enlightening trip, and a nice peek into basically what Zack Snyder had gotten up to after Justice League and the huge debacle that followed with that. So before I get into my kind of experience and kind of a roll-up of what the movie is about with what I learned from the set, but first, let's take a little trip back to October 2nd, 2019, before there were masks and COVID, before Zack Snyder's Justice League was available to watch on HBO Max. Let's take a trip back, and then come on back. We'll talk some more. All right, so it's been a long journey to get here. It's probably taken me, I don't even know. I left yesterday at 3:30 in the afternoon, and now I'm here in Atlantic City. It is early morning. It's almost, 8 a.m. So I took 2 flights and a limo ride, not a long stretch limo, but a limo ride from the airport in Philly to here in Atlantic City. So now I'm here, and I'm here for Zack Snyder's Army of the Dead, and I'm pumped as shit. So I can't wait to see what they have in store. So they're shooting in an abandoned, well, not abandoned, but vacant casino that will be doubling for Las Vegas. So I'm super pumped to see how they've zombified this thing. So looking forward to talking to Zack, looking forward to talking to the cast. I think this is going to be fun. This is going to be cool. Maybe we'll see some zombies get shot. All fucked up. You never know. So, yeah. Zombies. 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 So I am inside the Showboat Hotel in Atlantic City, and this is where they're filming the casino portion of, or the interior portion of Army of the Dead. And we were on set, and we're gonna walk through. We're not gonna walk through. They're not gonna allow me in. It's a closed set. You can't just go in and walk around.
But I walked back to the hotel just so that I could get a little snap. See all those black curtains right there? Yeah. Behind there is a giant floor, like basically an outline. What they took was like a convention floor, and they completely cleared it out and built a actual casino floor in there, where there wasn't one before, which is kind of ironic because they're shooting in a casino. And it looks great, and basically looks like a haunted house version of a casino because there's corpses all over the place, skeletons, blood, cards, chips. It's a mess. It looks like zombies attacked it. So it's really, really cool. I can't wait for you guys to see it, and I can't wait to see it in the actual film itself, but it's gonna be dope. So yeah, let's get into the Army of the Dead, shall we?
Okay, so that's a trip almost 2 years back into the past. I shot a few little tidbits there that you got to see just walking the boardwalk in Atlantic City. I had almost no time to really do this. As these set visit trips typically are, it's very fast, it's very quick. You fly in, you check into a hotel. Typically, you're there, you get there in the evening, and then the next morning you go to set. You're there all day, sometimes well into the evening, and the next day you take a flight and you're out. And that's pretty much what happened here. So that little bit of footage I was able to shoot, that's about the best I could get. And the fact that I could actually walk into that area and shoot a little footage was kind of cool, even though I couldn't actually go onto the set and shoot footage. So anyways, the experience was really cool. Obviously, I am a Zack Snyder fan. I wouldn't say I'm a rabid, crazy fan. There are definitely those. He's just an artist that I really admire and respect. So being able to go to the set of Army of the Dead was an honor. It was cool. It was great. This, of course, was during while I was working for JoBlo.com. And if you're watching this video now and you want to just read the information, you can head over to JoBlo.com, where you can read my set visit reports that have a lot of the information that I put out there. But there's a few things here that you're not going to get there. So, but it's all there, and I'm going to put a link in the description as well, so you can just click on over there and check it out at your heart's content. So anyways, this was my kind of experience going there. I flew into Atlantic City, New Jersey. I got in. I think I got a limo that took me in, not a super nice limo. And then the next morning, woke up, as you saw in the video, and went to set. And once we got to the set, which was at the Showboat. So the Showboat is a hotel. It's not actually a casino, to my understanding. It's just a hotel on the Strip. But they made it into a casino. They made it into Bly's Casino for the movie. So anyways, we got there. I was with about 7 or 8 other journalists. And I remember when we got there, we were standing outside and we heard somebody talking loudly on their phone. And we looked over and it was none other than Chris D'Elia, who has since fallen way out of favor. And anyways, he was like kind of on his phone bitching about a car that was supposed to pick him up. So I remember thinking while I was there, I was like, well, I guess we're not talking to Chris D'Elia, because apparently he's done. He's leaving. His shoot is over. So he was out waiting on his car, bitching about his car not being there. And I distinctly remember him like, this is Chris D'Elia. And he's like spelling his last name. And I was like, well, I guess we ain't talking to him today. So anyways, we went into the Showboat, which is, it's really vast, big, and dark. It's kind of dark inside. If you've ever been to Las Vegas, that was my first time being in Atlantic City, but the hotel itself felt kind of old and lived in. It's really big hallways and very open spaces. Just very, I don't know, it's very atmospheric kind of hotel. And so we walked around and they had a production office set up in one of the rooms. We went in there, we got badges. And then we were able to go on the actual set, which was cloaked, as you saw in the footage earlier, which I'll probably show again here, was cloaked, like had like a big black cloaks around it, said, filming underway, do not disturb. And there were guests staying in the hotel, not a lot. I mean, it was a ghost town. Like when you really think about it, being there, Atlantic City was the perfect place to shoot Army of the Dead, even though they didn't shoot exteriors there. It felt like a ghost town. It was kind of eerie. just being there. You know, this boardwalk ghost town that was just dead, dead as hell. So, anyways, we got on set. We went through the cloak, and once you go through, they had a whole floor, which you can see in some of the photos. I'll put them up right here. You can see this is me on the set that day, and you can see kind of the background. So what it was just big laid out space of gaming tables and slot machines and dead zombie bodies everywhere. They were laid out on plastic, just laying out there. And, you know, we kind of got in and we're just kind of like, you know, it's normal set visit stuff. You're soaking it all in. You're like, wow, this is crazy. And so we went in and just kind of hung around for a little bit, waiting for talent. And that's pretty much what happens. But then before that, actually, I'm skipping ahead. Before we stepped onto there, we had a little meeting with Debbie Snyder, one of the producers of the film, and Wes, I can't remember his last name, another one of the producers, were there. And this is what they call the war room. So the war room on any set visit is basically a room where they have all of this concept art, typically just concept art, just covered all over the walls. I don't know if it's in, I think that's just stuff they normally keep there. They don't put it out there, especially for us. But anyways, we went in there. So you're able, that's kind of where you get your first glimpse of everything that you're about to see for the rest of the day. So we took a look at everything, all the concept art. It was a lot of cool stuff. I was most impressed with the zombie, what I was seeing in the zombies, because they weren't just like your typical zombies. These were like, you know, highly evolved zombies that had like wearing specific clothes, or so it seemed. You know, it's like when they died, they were wearing specific clothes, but then they kind of like adapted that into part of their personality or their persona, which I thought was kind of cool. We also saw like concept art of like the zombie tiger, which we've now seen in the trailer, and we saw the taco truck for Los Vengeance. Now, Los Vengeance is what Dave Bautista and his group of zombie slayers are called, or what they call themselves, is Los Vengeance. And it was also spray painted on the taco truck, which was reminiscent of the Dawn of the Dead truck that they make at the end of the movie. And I don't know if that was a specific nod or not, but it really feels very specific. Like the truck has barbed wire, has up guns. It has a, what do you call those? Like a front shovel thingy. I can't remember the name. The official name. Zombie fucking shovel. I don't know. Anyways, so we saw the art. Deb Snyder and Wes talked about the movie. They gave us a rundown of kind of what, basically the story, and it kind of set us up. So I'll give you guys a little rundown of that now. Again, you could read this on the set visit report too. But so basically, Army of the Dead. It takes place 6 years after a zombie outbreak happened. Now, the zombie I should warn you. Spoilers. If you don't want to know, you probably shouldn't be here. But there will be spoilers, but I can tell you this. I can't spoil who dies or how they die because I don't know. So if that's a concern, or if that's your only concern, don't worry about it because I don't know. So anyways, but there is some details here that you may not want to know. So, and if you don't, that's cool. So probably don't watch my video. But you should watch it anyways. So the zombie apocalypse, it's not really an apocalypse though. It's a zombie outbreak. And the outbreak starts at Area 51. So Deb would not tell us exactly, and maybe the movie doesn't tell us exactly either, whether that's like an alien thing or a sci-fi element or an experiment gone wrong. But basically it all starts with one individual, which is Zeus. That is your key alpha zombie. That brings us to another part. There are two types of zombies in Army of the Dead. There's the alpha, and then there's the shamblers. So shamblers are your standard zombies. And then there's your alphas, which are these like evolved kind of, the way they relate it is kind of like a wolf pack. They can communicate with each other, not so much in dialogue, but kind of in almost telepathically in a way. But the alphas are evolved. They can run, they can move fast, they can think, they can maneuver, and they're led by this like patient zero, which is the alpha known as Zeus. Zeus has like a big staff. He has like a cape, and he just kind of looks badass overall. And he rides a horse, and the horse is a zombie horse, of course. A horse is a zombie, of course. A horse, of course. Hope you enjoyed that song. So, anyways, he goes and they flee to Vegas and take over Vegas and just, destroy, do what zombies do, right? So apparently, if an alpha, so if Zeus were to bite a person, that person would become an alpha. Now, if an alpha bites another person, they just become a shambler. Everybody tracking? Okay, good. So those are the two types of zombies that are in the movie. And there's also like the queen zombie, who I guess is also another alpha. There's a number of alphas, and then the idea for the tiger zombie was basically Zack Snyder's idea of like what if like one of Siegfried and Roy's tigers became a zombie tiger? So that's essentially what it is. I think it's directly supposed to be a Siegfried and Roy tiger. So, anyways, those are unleashed, and basically what happens is they contain the zombie outbreak in Vegas, and they use shipping containers to build a wall around Vegas. Okay, so and ultimately they start hiring kind of like citizen soldiers or like mercenary type people, such as Dave Bautista's Scott Ward, as well as Ana de la Reguera, Chris D'Elia, and a bunch of other people that serve as the original people in the Los Vengeance group. They go in, they kick zombie ass. The military kicks zombie ass and gets their ass kicked at the same time. So basically, Dave Bautista's character, Scott Ward, upends his life to take out these zombies, to form Los Vengeance, and all that stuff. And in the process, kind of estranges himself from his family and his daughter, who is later played by Ella Purnell. And that creates a big rift for him. It also takes him away from his job, which he wanted to be like a taco truck guy or a food truck guy, just be his own boss. But the whole zombie outbreak just kind of upended his life. So the zombie outbreak is contained, and they use, again, shipping containers to wall off Las Vegas, which in a sense kind of becomes like an escape from New York. So Zack Snyder also told us that, he wanted the movie, it was heavily inspired by like Escape from New York or James Cameron's Aliens, things like that. So, or RoboCop, he also used that as another example. So, I think you can expect a lot of blood, gore, and kind of like really deep cut genre stuff going on with this film. So that's your main setup. Another aspect to it, though, is that basically around Vegas is kind of like these camps, right? The government like basically holds people in these camps if they're infected. So you say infected. Well, does that mean they got bit by a zombie and then they become zombies and they can unbecome zombies? Is there like a zombie vaccine? I don't know. But basically the government is keeping people there, kind of holding cells, kind of like, I guess you could say, an immigration facility. Ooh, timely, political. So they're staying there. People are holed up there. And a lot of people are trying to get out. There's one woman played by Nora Arizanada. I'm not going to say her name wrong completely. She plays a character called the Coyote, who basically helps people get into the casino, kind of like a scout almost, and goes and helps them break into machines and get money to basically pay their way out of the camps to the guards. So that's your main setup. So a lot of people saw the trailers and they're like, wait a minute, what's going on here? Like, they're kind of confused about the timeline of events. So that's everything. So it's many years later when we catch Dave Bautista. He's working as a short order cook, and he's approached by this guy named Hunter Bly, who's played by, oh my God, I can't think of his name. Who's awesome. I'm gonna look it up. There we go. Hiroyuki Sanada. I couldn't think of his name. So Hiroyuki Sanada plays Hunter Bly, and basically he gets word, or they announce, that the government, in order to just rid themselves of the zombie problem altogether, they're gonna nuke Vegas. They're gonna just nuke it from the face of the earth. Just blow it to shit. Now, Hunter Bly had a casino, Bly Casino, inside Vegas, and he wants to get his money out. He wants to make a withdrawal. But he can't just drive in there and get his money. There's zombies everywhere. It's impossible. So what does he do? He goes to the Los Vengeance crew, starting with Dave Bautista's Scott Ward, and asks him to basically recruit a team to get in, get the money, and get out. How are they going to get out? Well, there's 2 helicopters on the roof of the Bly. They will need to be repaired and fueled, because I guess fuel goes bad after a certain amount of years. I think the distance between time is 6 years after the zombie outbreak. So they have to bring fuel. They have to bring pilots. Originally, it was going to be Chris D'Elia, who was later fired for his sexual allegation stuff and replaced by Tig Notaro, who is still playing a character of the same name, which is Peterson. So it's going to be the same character, or version, I guess, of the character that is the pilot. So they got to get in, they got to fuel these things, they got to repair them, and all that other stuff just to get out. So, anyways, but these guys have fought zombies before. They're ready. They're prepared for it. What they're not prepared for, though, is when they get there, communications go down. When communications come back up, they find out that the government has moved up the date of nuking Vegas from the Earth. And the problem with that is that, well, it just happens to be on the same day that they're there. So, which I believe is July 4th, because they thought it would be kind of cool to blow it up for the 4th of July. Why not? Blow up a whole American city for 4th of July. Sounds good. So they're stuck, but they got to get out fast. So that's where your kind of ticking clock comes in for Army of the Dead. Is they've got to make it out of there, get to the helicopters, get them refueled, set, get the money, and get out alive. Now, it wouldn't be a zombie or a heist movie if you didn't have people with other agendas and the people that would basically double cross. And that's where you have characters like Theo Rossi come in, who is basically going to play a villain. In what way that he betrays them, I couldn't tell you. But basically, you're going to have characters with other motivations that are going to kind of pull a fast one, which is to be expected in a heist movie. That's kind of part and parcel with the genre. So you got a ticking clock. You got to get out of Vegas with the money, alive, preferably, and you got to deal with people that are going to double cross you, as well as like this whole contingent of alpha and shambler zombies. So that is your Army of the Dead setup. In terms of how the events play out, I can't tell you because I don't know. They don't give you story beats. When you go on set visits, you'd be amazed at how there's so much you find out and so much you don't. So I think I've been on a few set visits where they told us the whole story. Alita Battle Angel, I remember we sat down and they basically just gave us the whole movie. And I was like, wow, okay. But most set visits, they don't give you the whole thing. They give you little nuggets to chew on. And then, of course, you see the sets and you take from that what you will. So that's that aspect of it. One of the big parts of the movie, too, is, or what they're calling the heart of the movie, is Dave Bautista's relationship with his daughter, played by Ella Purnell, who he's estranged from and ends up, she's the one that actually kind of ropes him into doing this mission. And it's kind of an experience for them to kind of reconnect, for him to kind of redeem himself. So that's being called the heart of Army of the Dead, and we'll see how that plays out, I suppose. Okay, so a few other details I can give you. I'll give you some technical stuff here. So they didn't shoot any of this in Las Vegas. None of Army of the Dead was shot in Las Vegas, but the VFX crew did go, and they used like helicopters and cameras to basically digitally map all of Vegas so that they could utilize it in the special effects to basically recreate Vegas as much or as realistically as possible. So even though they didn't shoot the actual movie in Vegas, they did technically film in Vegas, but that was just to map it for the VFX, which is pretty interesting. Zack Snyder is not afraid to create digital backgrounds, and he's one of the few people that can do it very well with him and his crew. So I think this is probably going to work out for the best. All the exterior stuff, though, was shot in Albuquerque, New Mexico. And then the interior casino stuff was shot here at the Showboat where I visited. When I was there, they only had 2 weeks left to film. And so it was pretty much, it was at the end. It's at the end of the line, end of the line. Zack Snyder used from what I understand, a Red Monstro 8K camera, digital. And another thing that a lot of people probably don't know is that Zack Snyder is the director of photography on this as well. So he chose to shoot and direct at the same time. And it was kind of a way for him to reconnect. He felt like he was getting further and further away from that process, being like in there with the bigger budget movies that he has done where he's had a DP. So now he's back behind the camera and directing at the same time. So it should make for a very unique experience. He's also experimenting a lot with just using natural light. So natural light plays a big role in how he shot this. He used a lot of different lenses. He used these Canon lenses that were made in the 70s in Japan. I ordered a whole bunch of them, and I guess each one of them has like their own little imperfections and everything. So whether or not the story takes root as well as we hope, I don't know, but I don't expect to be anything less than absolutely floored by the visual aspect of Army of the Dead. So I think if nothing else, Army of the Dead is going to be a hell of a show. I have hell of a visual spectacle more than anything. So, and I'm here for that. I'm here for that. Another thing that's interesting about how Zack is shooting this is he is shooting this movie for Netflix. So that comes down to the aspect ratio. He wants the movie to fill your entire screen. So your big 75-inch flat screen TV, he wants it to fill the whole screen. So kind of like Justice League, which he put out on HBO Max with the 2:1 ratio, where you had the black bars on the sides, which was on purpose. He had it fill the rest of the screen. That's because it was made specifically for IMAX. This is being made for Netflix at home. So don't expect any black bars anywhere. You should just expect to see the entire screen filled, which I think is great. And to see a movie made that way, where it's not actually upscaled or anything, that is going to be cool. It's kind of like when you watch, say, Aquaman on your TV and they show the IMAX stuff and it just fills the screen and it just looks amazing. It makes the most out of your TV, I think. Another thing about the cast really quick is that Deb Snyder mentioned that it was very important to have a global cast, seeing as the audience for Netflix is predominantly international. And so they wanted to have a cast that encapsulated kind of everybody. They have a lot of different people from all different backgrounds. Omari Hardwick, Samantha Wynn, Ana de la Reguera, a whole bunch of people from all different backgrounds filling this movie out. And that's pretty cool. And ultimately, she also wanted to make sure that the female characters were being represented as like the typical kind of badass character, which I'm sure, we'll see plenty of that. And another mention too with Samantha Wynn is that Samantha was and is a martial arts champion, Olympic champion, and she has worked with Zack Snyder before on Sucker Punch and other films. And this is her first time acting. So she's actually performing in this movie, not just as a stunt person, but also as an actress. And she does have a pretty big martial arts, I guess, fight sequence in a kitchen in the casino, from what I'd understand from our interviews with her. So that should be pretty cool to see. And it'd be nice to see her kind of branch out. Dave Bautista, we talked to him on set and he was, really cool, really laid back. He's kind of this like soft-spoken giant in many ways. And he really feels like he's somebody that's just very invested in the craft. He really wants to focus on his acting. He wants to focus on directing. But the main reason that he did this movie purely was Zack Snyder. He just wanted to work with Zack Snyder, which is smart. Who wouldn't want to work with Zack Snyder? That would be, it seems to be a very common thing with a lot of actors. Zack doesn't pull together just, a bunch of nobodies all the time. He pulls together like these massive casts. And he does pull actually a lot of nobodies into his films as well. It makes them into stars. So that's a good thing. It's a good thing for this cast. So anyways, but Bautista, he seems very much like somebody that just wants to kind of branch out and do different roles. But he was happy to play kind of the standard action star role here because it was Zack Snyder. Understandable. I get it. And that's really about it. We were there for a long time throughout the day. We talked to pretty much everybody. Again, you can look at a lot of this information over on joblo.com if you just want to kind of read through it. This is the nitty gritty, down and dirty from what I saw. And, I got to say, just like all set visits, after a while, you're just kind of like, all right, we can go now. We did see, we saw the actors shooting a scene where zombies were chasing them through the casino, and the sequence where Dave Bautista is running over the casino tables and shooting his gun. That's what they were leading up to. I don't believe we actually saw that scene, but we saw them shooting guns and all that other stuff. We saw Zack Snyder shooting a gun, which they use blanks. They use M4s with like blanks and stuff. I don't even know if they were actual blanks, if it was some other flash technique, but they used a lot of lights in order to create that flash effect of the guns. So, but they still fired. I don't know. It was pretty weird. It was an interesting look, and I'm not 100% sure exactly how they were doing it. So, an interesting set visit, a fun set visit, short and sweet. I wish, we could have stayed longer and seen more, but that's kind of what you get with these things. And that's my overall feeling after being there. I might have left with a card that I somehow picked up on my shoe as I was leaving. These were scattered all over the casino floor, as were these casino chips. You see here, I don't know, let's see if you guys can see it, a Bly's casino chip. Anyway, somehow I think it got stuck at the bottom of my shoe or something. It was just there when I got back to my hotel. But a cool set visit. I'm really looking forward to the movie. I know you guys have seen the trailer, and I think it's going to be really cool. And they're obviously trying to make a franchise out of this. They've got a prequel that's already been shot. I believe it's Army of the Dead Lost Vegas. And then they have an animated series. So the zombie business is, it's booming over at Netflix with Zack Snyder. So I look forward to seeing this. I hope you guys enjoyed what I had to say. Again, you can go read the rest at joblo.com. For Zack Snyder fans, I think you guys are going to be really happy. I'm going to be really happy to see basically Zack back in action. This is his first new film since Justice League. And, we're all winning right now. We're eating good. We got Zack Snyder's Justice League in March. And now May 21st, we're getting Army of the Dead. And I have zero complaints. That is just beyond awesome. We really have no cause for complaints as far as that goes. And I'm excited. I know you're excited. So let's get ready to kill some zombies on Netflix. Thanks for joining me. If you guys, haven't already, please make sure to subscribe. It really helps me out, and I'm really appreciative of it. And also, I do have a merch store, Arctic Ninja Designs. You can get this shirt there, directed by Zack Snyder. And I have tons of other shirts for men, for women, for everybody, all kinds of deep cut, cool pop culture stuff. There's a link up in the YouTube banner that you can click on, but also I'll put it down here as well. You can go check it out and pick yourself up something cool. In the meantime, thanks for joining me. I appreciate you guys checking out the video. Much more to come. We got a Funko video coming, another commentary with another special guest, and probably some unboxings on the way too. So again, thanks for joining us, and I'll see you next time.